Hey everybody, and it's Britt from the Bosch blog, and welcome back for another episode of Plan With Me in my journal. Today we are setting up my March bullet journal spreads, and happy leap day, by the way. I'm officially recording this in February. It's amazing, I know. We are ahead of the game and trying to stay consistent. But before we get into everything, as always, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos that might be uploaded on time or not. But how's everybody doing? Are we enjoying the semi-spring weather that the groundhog said was coming, only for it to be ripped from under us and it to be 20 degrees this morning? I live in Western Pennsylvania, so the weather here is like a roller coaster of whiplash nonsense. So it was like really warm and in the 60s, and it was nice and sunny. And then it got really windy the next day, and then it rained, and then it snowed yesterday and was in the 20s. So this March spread is hopefully going to bring more warm weather. And according to the forecast, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees on Monday and then go down to the 40s again. I don't understand it. But for March, let's talk about bullet journaling now. For March, I always try to go with like a St. Patrick's Day theme, which always turns out to be a rainbow because I love color. This month is a little wonky because we have St. Patrick's Day and we have Easter all in the same month, which is a little annoying, but we'll make it work. But I did a pretty simple setup for my cover with just like a cool rainbow that looks a little wonky and March in a nice little cloud. And you'll see I'm highlighting it a little bit with a gray highlighter from Zebra, however we want to say it. So the way that like February landed, there were half of the first week of March is kind of like in February. So the way it turned out was that my cover page ended up like on the left-hand side, which makes it weird for March because I like to do a full calendar, but it just didn't work out with how the pages landed. So I ended up just doing a like list calendar, which I mean, this works. It's not, I don't hate it, but I do like to see how the days land on the actual calendar. So I used my calendar stamp to give me that. Now the weird thing is this calendar stamp only has 30 days on it and March has 31. So I had to add an additional day just with my pen, like you see me doing right there. And that looks a little wonky, but it works. I don't know why, but I like to highlight the weekends, maybe because I live for the weekend. So I highlight each of the weekends with like a different color, keeping with the rainbow theme, and then just freehand March. And I messed it up there, so then I adjusted it to make it look like the C wasn't too low. Moving on, my next spread is my mood tracker, which this was an entertaining thing to figure out how to divide this into 31 spaces because I thought March somehow only had 30 days. And I even did the like 30 days has September, April, June, and November, and I still thought March had 30 days. And then I realized when I did that calendar page that there's 31 days. So I had to readjust this. And basically, I just moved, I had it like ticked out for like every 6 degrees was going to be a day. So I just moved it a little bit and somehow it worked. I don't know, by the grace of God, it worked. So it's gonna look like a cool little rainbow thing, and each day we'll color it a different color. I really like I went back to five different colors for my moods again, because I mean most of my spreads are like 5 colors, and I figured I'm gonna have these in my bag anyway, so we just went with 5 colors. I don't know that there's really a difference between like a straight line smile and like a side smile face, but maybe there is. I just haven't figured it out yet, so you'll probably just see me use 2 or 3 of these, but and then there was so much room on this spread too, like at the bottom I felt like there was so much additional room, and I was like, I don't know what to do here. So then I went on Pinterest and I found a little quote, and really this was pretty good. Like, it's like, was it a bad day, or was it a bad minute or 5 minutes and you just like milked it the entire day? Like, how true is that? Because that does happen. Like, one little thing will happen and I'll be like, oh, my whole day is ruined. So maybe just putting it in perspective and like, okay, yeah, that happened, let's move on. So here, my next page is my habit tracker, and I used one of my little mini stencils that I've made to make my life a little bit easier. I don't know, it's difficult to draw a really cool looking cloud, so I just used the stencil. But this is actually a recreation of a habit tracker that I did maybe 2 years ago for March, and it's just always been my favorite habit tracker. Like, it just looks so cool, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I replicate, like, this one does still look really cool, but it may not look as cool as the original one I did 2 years ago, but it's still pretty cool. So it's just like a cloud pouring a rainbow, and then I did the highlighter on here again just to give that cloud a little bit of dimension, and I freehanded my habit word, which sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes this works for me when I freehand. Sometimes it looks like a child did it, which is fine. Like, your handwriting is your handwriting, and I know we're all like our biggest critics, but like, some people are like, oh my god, I love your handwriting, and I'm like, yeah, that's all right. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. So I used my calendar stamp again for this. It's so much easier than drawing these all out. Like, I don't even know at this point in my life, if I do a habit tracker, if I had to like draw it all out like I used to. Especially like recently, I've been having some like issues with my right thumb, and I don't know if it's the beginning of like carpal tunnel or if I just tweaked it, but we'll find out. But I'm just keeping track of the same things again. I think actually for my like H2O tracker, I'm gonna keep track of how many ounces. I'm gonna put a number in there instead of just coloring it. And then I added some flourish or flare, whatever we want to call it, to the rainbow, and it kind of looks like sparkles. So there's that. I don't like doing this that much because I feel like it never looks as good as everybody else's. And then finally, we have our gratitude log. This was another Pinterest recreate that I found. Also only counted 30, so I had to make an adjustment to make it 31. So it's like a cloud, and then the sun, the bursts, the rainbow bursts that are coming from it, I'll write what I'm grateful for that day, or something good that happened in each one. And then there's a nice little quote on it that says, focusing on the good makes the good better. And I thought that was really cool. But I'm going to cut off my talking here, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this, and we'll see you next month. Have a great one.